The conversation continues about guns and terror and how America responds. More people from Northeast Florida want to be heard following the Orlando massacre.
Recognize that this is a different world that we're living in. It's not going to be over tomorrow, and that we can't put our head in the sand, that we have to start looking forward and realize it's a generational-long struggle.
The problem is gun-free zones. That's the problem. The problem is denying people the ability to protect themselves and giving terrorists and criminals soft targets where they can act with impunity because nobody's there to defend themselves.
We will hear multiple sides of the arguments surrounding gun laws and domestic terror. First, we'll talk about affording education and one man's challenge to schools around the state. Will it work to help students finish in 4 on This Week in Jacksonville? Thank you for joining us this morning. The Finish in 4 challenge from Florida Governor Rick Scott seems like a campaign for universities and colleges, and we're going to dive into that challenge with Florida State College Jacksonville President Dr. Cynthia Biotto. Appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
That first blush reaction, I guess, to this challenge that Governor Scott announced at that Degrees to Jobs Summit in Orlando about a month ago. We'll get into some of the details in a moment, but what'd you think about the idea?
I think for many students, it's a great idea. I think we also need to be sure to understand that many of the other kinds of students, the adults, the people who are on military, have military responsibilities, people who have full-time jobs and still go to school, we have to have both kinds of learning. The Finish in 4 is wonderful for a student who can come to college and can go full-time, and the college's commitment is we must have year-round options available. So we have to have as robust a summer term as we do fall and spring. So for those students, we are taking the challenge with great gusto, and we are scheduling and we are counseling and we are helping our students go full-time for their bachelor's degree so that they can finish in 4.
Yeah, great point that there are different kinds of students, and maybe that Finish in 4 isn't really the goal for somebody who's already in a career. I want to look at maybe some of the details there of what this proposal was, this challenge. Finish in 4, the governor is saying, hey, we wanted to remove added fees for online classes, inform incoming freshmen of the savings available to them if they graduate in 4 years, to have the colleges urge the legislature to expand Bright Futures and specifically cover summer courses, something that doesn't happen right now, to ensure credit for college courses taken in high school, and to make internship credits easier to get. So those sorts of things. The governor didn't just pull those out of thin air. Was he getting feedback from professionals like yourself?
Well, I will share with you, many of our colleges, and FSCJ in particular, already have credit for prior learning. So many of our students come to us. The average age of an FSCJ student right now seeking their bachelor's degree is 31 years of age.
Wow, no kidding.
So those are adults that have been in the workforce. Right. Why not help them demonstrate credit for prior learning? So we have credit for prior learning. We certainly work with the young traditional students right in high school to get them through dual enrollment and to graduate with an associate's degree along the same time as they receive their high school diploma. That means they get their bachelor's in just 2 more years. And so those kinds of pieces, those along with paid internships, along with, again, that scheduling so that students can go year-round and understand the benefit of going full-time if they can, so that they can finish in 4, get in the workforce, and begin a gainful living.
Well, one of the things that we saw from the governor promoting this last month at the end of May there, saying only 44% of the undergraduates do get their degree within 4 years, and that 71% graduate with about a 6-year plan.
Yes.
That's not something uncommon for you and the kind of students that you bring in.
It's not, and I would say 71% is a wonderful data point. I mean, think about that. If you are a working adult with a family of 4 children and or on military leave, and you can finish a bachelor's degree in 6 years, bravo. Because many times you have to step out of your learning to step into your living. And so, again, I think all colleges and universities in the state of Florida are very, very committed to having the ability to assist our students in finishing in 4 years. Not only will they save the time out of the workplace, but they're also able to become into the workplace, our skilled workforce, sooner. So we're all committed to it. We just don't want anyone in our community to believe that it's for all students, that one brush stroke is all we need. And I think that's the ability of Florida State College at Jacksonville, to be flexible, to have multiple ways of providing access to education. We want all of our students to go full-time if they can, because we know through national research, a full-time student is far more likely to complete and graduate than a student who is part-time. So that's the ultimate, and that's what we look for. But real life gets in the way for so many of our students, and so we need to have that flexibility for all.
Each of those students probably have recognized that in today's world, having that degree is really important. So I know a lot of folks that I'm hearing from say, well, if this is the right plan or a different plan is right, let's keep encouraging our students to get that degree some way, somehow. Dr. Bioto, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, always.
Thank you. So our conversation is going to shift here coming up to gun control, to domestic terrorism. When we come back, a local Navy intelligence officer gives his opinion on the battle at home and abroad. That's next on This Week in Jacksonville.
Hyundai's summer of savings is heating up, and these deals are sizzling. Get our lowest prices on our best selection of new Hyundais, all with America's best warranty. 5 years longer than the competition. Our best prices of the year, our largest inventory. Buy new 2016 Sonatas with 0 APR for 60 months, plus $2,250 bonus cash. Or make no payments for 6 months on the 2017 Elantra and 2016 Sonata. No payments for 6 months at your Greater Jacksonville Hyundai dealer.
It's the 4th of July sale you don't want to miss. Mattress One's 4th of July $1 sale. Buy a mattress and get all-American $1 deals. Like a box spring, just $1. Memory foam pillow, just $1. Elevate and save up to $800 on a Serta adjustable set. Save up to $600 on select Beauty Rest, Stearns & Foster, Sealy Posturepedic, and Optimum sets. Plus 0 interest for up to 5 years. For the best selection and the lowest prices, we're the one. Visit mattressone.com to find a store near you.
This is the last time you will ever see this kind of message from us.
Because I'm definitely not having any more children.
We are proud to announce the newest member of our law firm.
This is our baby brother, Dan. Welcome to the firm.
Happy to be here, guys. Morgan, 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 and Morgan. For the people.
6:45 a.m. San Pablo. 630 volunteers, 900 meals, one bad storm on the way. That's why when these Meals on Wheels volunteers have Jacksonville seniors counting on them, they turn to Channel 4. Paul and Ray know they'll get an hour-by-hour forecast from Richard, trouble spots from Time Saver Traffic, and breaking news from a news team they consider family. Paul and Ray make delivering meals to local seniors happen. In Jacksonville, the morning show makes mornings happen. You're watching This Week in Jacksonville with Kent Justice.
I spoke recently with Brandon Patty, a Navy Reserve's intelligence officer who was running for Congress. More on that race in a moment. But we spoke about domestic terrorism in light of the Orlando massacre and some of the regrets that FBI scrutiny prior to the shooting didn't stop Omar Mateen from shooting, killing, and hurting so many.
There's a lot of talk out there right now, particularly with law enforcement. We've seen this over the last couple of years, that they almost have to feel that they're stepping out themselves and putting themselves in danger from doing their job. We need to make sure that they're empowered to be able to do so in order to be able to keep us safe, and recognize that this is a different world that we're living in. It's not going to be over tomorrow, and that we can't put our head in the sand, that we have to start looking forward and realize this is a generational-long struggle, and that we all together as Americans across the board recognize that we quite simply are at war. And we need to make sure that we take the fight and that we look at all the potential threats and work to thwart them. And in particular, the social media radicalization at home, what we're seeing with these different fighters from here in Florida, San Bernardino, across the board, to recognize how they're getting radicalized, but then also we have to look at the simple fact that it's not just happening here. It's happening in Paris, it happened in Brussels, it's happening across the Western world. And when we get sidetracked by some of these other discussions that happen, we lose sight of the ball. And the ball is that we are under threat, and we need to be able to marshal our resources in order to be able to counter it.
Marco Rubio, U.S. Senator, had mentioned kind of in the heat of the first few days after what happened in Orlando with the terror attack. Hey, and he mentioned the internet radicalization of people. What do you do about that? You can't turn off all the internet. Are there ways to stop that? Legally or even ethically, can you stop that from happening?
I think you can. I think that we have a lot of bright minds that are part of the federal government that are actively working, and particularly in the intelligence community, in order to be able to help thwart them. I think that there's plenty of options and tools that are available, but we have to make sure that through Congress that we give them the ability to be able to do so. And look, I think there's a balance, without a doubt. There's a balance between our civil liberties and along those lines, but in security. But I think that we have to recognize that we are at war. And whenever we stop short of having a strategy to be able to truly be able to take the fight to them, we lose sight of that ball. And so yes, it comes back to we absolutely have to stop the radicalization through online, but we also have to go after their homeland. And for them, that is in Syria and Iraq, and in 18 other provinces or affiliated groups throughout the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. That's really the sad part about this too, is that ISIS has only continued to grow over the last 4 years, particularly since we withdrew from Iraq in 2011. And it's only going to continue unless the U.S. and the Western world steps up, starts truly taking them out back home.
So here's part of the trouble for so many of us, and maybe for you as well, but it's hard to know who that enemy is because the countries you just mentioned. So let's take Syria. There are lots of people who are saying, I'm leaving Syria because I don't agree with that. I don't agree with ISIS. I need to go somewhere else where I can live, whatever, Western values or values that don't include persecuting other people based on a radical tenet.
Well, sadly, most of Syrians, I would suspect, would want to stay home. Right. They would want to live in peace. And this administration has quite simply, again, not realized the threat that we're facing. And there's been clear policies that we could have implemented from the very beginning, from safe zones to no-fly zones to areas to where we can help ensure that the refugee population has a place to be until the political situation in Syria is stabilized. But instead, we've allowed it to just continue to devolve. And we see this refugee crisis in Europe and with the refugees coming here. And I found it striking that the FBI director last year came out and said that we can't vet them, that we have military-age males coming into this country, but we don't know what their background is. And not only that, they're not telling the state and local law enforcement and government where they are and where they're being settled and who they are themselves. And on one hand, this might be an academic exercise, but it's a very real one too, because there's attacks in Paris. There were supposed to be 2 additional attackers, and they posed as refugees, and they got stopped in Central Europe. So it is a very real threat. But when this administration refuses to call the enemy by its name and be able to start looking and cutting through the political correctness and all the rest of that, we are not as effective and as efficient as we could be in order to be able to take the fight to them.
And so let me cut through the partisanship. It's hard for anybody to know exactly who that enemy is, because you can't do it just looking at what it says on a birth certificate or where they lived or all those sorts of things. Tough problems. I appreciate hearing some of your perspective.
Thank you for the time.
And since our interview, Patty is out of the race for the House. There would have been 5 other Republican candidates for the 6th Congressional District. Incumbent Ron DeSantis said this week that he will run for re-election following his months of campaigning for Marco Rubio's U.S. Senate seat. He's the clear favorite, about $3.2 million in the campaign account. Brandon Patty dropped out, joined by State Rep David Santiago. Patrick Mooney looked like a serious contender there, but he ended his campaign Wednesday, too. Gigi Galloway and State Rep Fred Costello remained in the race. Florida Democrats are running 5 candidates. Here's the list, and it includes Jason Kendall, who was born in Orange Park. The seat changed in geography with redistricting, moved farther south. Previously, it has been heavily Republican in terms of voting results. Well, still ahead, a local perspective on the gun control element to America's reaction to the attack in Orlando. Florida Carey's lawyer talks about where that group is willing to listen. That's next.
Get on island time with IHOP's new Paradise Pancakes. Try pineapple upside down, strawberry passion fruit, or banana macadamia nut.
Stop and smell the pineapple.
Take a tropical break with new Paradise Pancakes and come together over breakfast at IHOP.
In our house, the 4th of July is about friends, family, and fireworks. I use the Phantom Fireworks catalog, website, and staff with all their cool technology to build the best show in the neighborhood. My wife loves sitting with the kids, oohing and awing. And my favorite part, being the hero of the party when I show up with Phantom Fireworks. Phantom Fireworks, lighting up backyards of America from coast to coast.
Visit fireworks.com for coupons and a location near you.
My father spent 39 years serving in law enforcement. Every day, he stood up for justice and worked to make his community safe.
Melissa Nelson, attorney and constitutional conservative.
Today, I teach my own children the same lessons. When you see something wrong, stand up for what's right.
Politicians and insiders want the status quo. Melissa Nelson is fighting for something better. Melissa Nelson, a conservative we can trust. Sponsored by First Coast Values.
I was driving in my Camry when I played the text.
When can I see you again?
I entered the location, 22 Beechwood Lane. The car rerouted me.
Turn left.
Told me where to go.
Turn right.
And I arrived 5.1 minutes later. Now, if only my car could tell me what to do next. Get a 2-year lease on a new 2016 Toyota Camry SE for $199 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Surf's up, hurricanes off the coast, you're caught in a rip current. Don't panic. Swim up or down the beach. This will get you out of the current and out of danger. Download our Hurricane Tracker app, enable the push alerts.
Powered by Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the Plus.
And we're joined in this segment by Eric Friday, lead counsel for Florida Carry, a gun rights advocacy organization. It's now 2 weeks since the massacre in Orlando. I guess I want to hear your thoughts at this distance, now that we've been a few days since that, on what happened there and all the circumstances surrounding it.
Well, Ken, it's a tragedy. Our hearts and prayers go out to the families of the victims. But the bottom line is, this wasn't the fault of gun owners or guns that are available. This was the fault of gun-free zones where people are left defenseless and not able to care for themselves. Because like one of our sheriffs says, best police departments have response times in minutes, criminals act in seconds.
There's been a lot of discussion about the component there versus a person who is bent on terrorizing others regardless of the weapons that he have. Let me ask about this. Florida Senator Bill Nelson introduced a bill this past week, and some of the key components, an amendment that focused on including mental health issues in background checks before someone buys a gun. Another requires background checks for sales at gun shows and on the internet. A third plan, again, this is from Senator Nelson, would require gun dealers to let law enforcement know if someone on a terrorist watch list tried to buy a gun. And then the last one blocked gun sales to anyone who's on a no-fly list and those considered likely to engage in terrorism. Ultimately, didn't pass, didn't go anywhere in the Senate, although there was a lot of conversation. Any objection to some of those things from Florida Carry?
The first two we already have. We already have the ability for any state, any county to put persons who have been adjudicated mentally defective on a list that then is reported to the instant background check system, and if they go into a gun dealer, their name comes up. So that's already there. Background checks at gun shows and over the internet. Again, those things, Kent, already exist. That's already the law. If you purchase a gun from a licensed firearms dealer, you have to go through a background check. It doesn't matter whether it's in their store, at a gun show, or over an internet purchase. You have to go through a background check, and then you have to pick that gun up in person. This idea that there are guns going through the mail for internet sales is farcical. It doesn't exist. It's being made up by the people who want to try and regulate guns more than they already do.
So there are regulations on the books. Here's the question that always comes up when there's a tragedy like this, when there's a terrible event like this and guns are used. People want to say, well, our laws must not be working. How do you feel about that?
Well, they're right. Our laws aren't working. Our laws are preventing good law-abiding citizens from having firearms where they need them to defend themselves, but the criminals don't care. The criminals don't care that there's a law against carrying a gun in a nightclub. The criminals don't care that there's a law against having a gun on a college campus or at a school. All the criminals care about is what they want to do, and it's time that the politicians start allowing law-abiding citizens to defend themselves.
So, from your perspective as an attorney, could you defend someone if they were a concealed weapons licensee and they were somewhere like a nightclub or a school zone or whatever, and used that weapon to defend themselves in an active shooter situation?
Well, yeah, absolutely I could defend that. I mean, the bottom line is, and there's actually an exception in the No Guns on School Campuses law that says it's a felony to fire a gun on a school campus unless it's a necessary self-defense. So automatically, you back them out of the felony zone and into a nothing because they had to act in self-defense.
All right. Processing a little bit of that while you say that. So as all of this started happening these last 2 weeks, and again, so much of the discussion about domestic terror and our gun laws, I heard you say in one of our interviews with you, if someone has a specific proposal that will keep guns out of bad guys' hands, we're willing to listen. So what do you mean by that?
Well, I'll give you a concrete example. A couple of years ago, a group approached NRA and Florida Carry and said, we have a problem with people who are involuntarily examined under a Baker Act, but then voluntarily commit themselves, they don't lose their gun rights. NRA, Florida Carry, and other stakeholders were able to work together to change the law to, yes, take away people's gun rights after a voluntary commitment if they go through a due process and have the protection of a judge reviewing the order, and they have an ability to get their rights restored once they are healthy again. Florida Carry has no objection to controlling certain people who shouldn't have guns. What we have an objection to is this idea of doing it without due process rights. The Constitution is mandatory, not optional in this country, and we expect that government follows the Constitution, and one of those rights is the right to bear arms and not be deprived of that right without due process of law.
It sounds like it would make sense that an attorney would say we had due process and we're going to follow the rules, but I appreciate hearing your perspective on how maybe in the future those things are looked at and maybe changed to be more effective. So, Eric Friday, Florida Carry Lead Counsel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next on This Week in Jacksonville, a Duval County Democrat leading the charge to support Hillary Clinton. Delegate to the DNC, Lisa King, is joining us in 2 more minutes.
Can your kid's sunscreen pass the wet skin challenge? Neutrogena Wet Skin does. On wet skin, ordinary sunscreen mixes with water and drips. Neutrogena Wet Skin sprays on and stays on. Forms a UVA-UVB barrier. Wet skin. Neutrogena.
This is Pastor R.J. Washington of the Titus Harvest Dome. Join us on Channel 4 every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. We're going to have a God time. Yes.
This 4th of July, Nissan's giving you 1,000 more reasons to celebrate. Choose excitement, capability, safety, and get holiday bonus cash. During Nissan's Free to Choose event, get up to 1,000 holiday bonus cash on top of existing offers and save up to $3,500 on Altima. Hurry! Bonus cash ends July 5th. Shop at your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com today.
Tommy lived in a home where sometimes there was no food or electricity, and he'd missed a lot of school. Every day, there are kids just like Tommy who need good foster parents. In these children's eyes, foster parents are real-life superheroes just by being there to help. It's not that hard to be a hero because foster parents can count on support and hugs. Be a hero to a child in need. Visit foster-now.org.
If you've become disabled, it's important to call Harrell & Harrell because we have Social Security disability lawyers who have helped thousands of people navigate the government and what you need to do in that process.
Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
That extra weight may not be your fault. Could it be your metabolism? How to make sure yours is working. With Rhonda Jones from Empire. Next Oz.
Monday at 4 on Channel 4. You're watching This Week in Jacksonville on Channel 4.
And this segment, we are joined by Lisa King once again. But I say once again, it's been too long since we got to visit here on the show.
It's good to see you.
Thanks for coming back. So, like we are, you've made your plans for Philadelphia in about a month to be there for the Democratic National Convention. Once again, you're a delegate for the party representing Florida and Duval County. Excited about this? You get to support somebody that you've known for a long time, right?
Yes. This is actually my 7th convention.
Wow.
I've been a delegate. This will be my 4th time. Always for Clinton. I was a Bill Clinton delegate in 92, 96. I was a Hillary Clinton delegate in 2008. So I am really excited to represent the 4th Congressional District and represent her in Philadelphia. It's going to be an exciting convention.
And 4 years ago, you were there also.
Yes, as a volunteer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means helping make sure that the convention runs smoothly.
Yes, and I was part of the boiler room, which we are the teams that get those signs that magically appear in delegates' hands when certain speakers at just the right time, coordinated with the speaker. I was running those teams in about half the convention hall.
Yeah. What does it take to be a delegate? I bet so many people don't even understand, well, how does somebody get selected, or do you pay for it, or what are those sorts of things?
It's different in every state, and it's different in the political parties. But in Florida, we are democratically elected. Any registered Democrat in the 4th Congressional District could go on May 7th and vote for me. And we had 2 Clinton delegates from the 4th Congressional District and 2 Bernie Sanders delegates. So you have to announce that you want to go into which caucus room and vote between those candidates. and the top vote getters become the delegates. And a lot of people think that it's, this glitzy trip, but actually it's all on your own dime. So you have to be very committed to pay your travel expenses and big city hotel rates and attend.
Bigger hotel rates during a big issue like that. So we're going to get to see each other, and we're going to talk more about that. Let me ask about this. How are things going to be different this year, considering the backdrop of the extremism on both parties during this presidential campaign so far, and with something like gun control coming up as such a big topic after what happened in Orlando?
Well, actually, political conventions changed substantially after 9/11. Security increased tenfold from what they had been in the conventions before. And there's always been demonstrations, there's always been dissenting candidates. This convention somewhat mirrors 92 in that Jerry Brown never endorsed Bill Clinton and didn't release his delegates going into the convention. Interesting fun fact is my husband was a Jerry Brown delegate in 92.
That's what brought you together.
It is. So, yeah. So, it is a frightening time for a lot of people right now. People are concerned about their personal safety. People are concerned about their families. And, we're a target just like potentially like anybody else is. But all of us agree that we can't live in fear. We have to go about and do our business. I mean, I've traveled in the Middle East after 9/11. And let me tell you, the folks in the countries that I went to were happy to see me because these were places that used to have tourists from the United States. And so a convention is just another one of those examples of let's not live in fear, let's go, and let's try to make some change to make people be safe.
It's certainly one of the themes that we've seen in the campaigns, and how do you respond to these things that some candidates say we should be fearful of. Lisa, I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to visiting with you as we go through the process here in the next few months as well. Well, This Week in Jacksonville airs each Sunday morning at this time. Among other guests, Dr. Michael Bender from UNF. He's coming up next week as we discuss the first in a series of polls coming out from the Public Opinion Research Lab. Republican delegate Cindy Graves will be joining us very soon as well, so we're glad you're watching. And I'm Kent Justice. Thanks for watching on air and online at news4jax.com.
Jax, we're always covering the news, even when we're not on TV. Stay informed, on the go, and online at news4jax.com.